Once and Future is Big Finish's contribution to Doctor Who's 60th anniversary celebrations. The premise is that during the Time War, a degeneration weapon is used on the Doctor, presumably the Eighth. They change back to their former selves, and this is what seems to be the main draw throughout this event series, which spans across 8 stories. The first story, titled Past Lives, sees the Doctor revert back to the 4th incarnation, played by the wonderful Tom Baker. He goes on the lookout for the monk, played by Rufus Hound, for knowledge on how to cure this degeneration. In the wild goose chase between the two Time Lords, we end up in different places, and eventually we end up in 2010. The Doctor teams up with Kate Stewart and Osgood from Modern Day Unit. We also get Sarah Jane Smith, voiced by Sadie Miller, and she feels like she's just thrown in here for the sake of it, because the Fourth Doctor's most popular companion always seems to be Sarah Jane Smith. But more on that in a minute. The monsters in this are reptilian-like, carrying swords, and they are sort of the main threat here. The main objective, of course, is for the Doctor to discover how to reverse the effects of this degeneration. As you can see, I've opted to go for the special edition CD case. With each one of these special edition cases, we have 2 characters from each section of Once and Future, this time round being Tom Baker coming back as the Doctor and Jemma Redgrave's Kate Stewart, and in the middle you have the 60th anniversary diamond logo. Overall, I think it looks very nice, and I think it's a nice alternative to the standard edition cover. You have plenty of info inside on the booklet, and you have your disc. And if we just pop the disc out, you have an advertisement for the Fourth Doctor Adventures. At the back, it just gives you an info dump about past lives. I like the novelty of having a movie-style poster to come with the special edition CD. It may not be much to some, but I think it's a nice touch. For the first outing of this 60th anniversary epic from Big Finish Productions, we get a grand opening with various actors coming back to voice the various incarnations of the Doctor. Yes, even the first 3. Tom Baker is in the driving seat for the rest of this, but for the most part, it never felt like he was playing a version of the Doctor who had lived further lives beyond his original time. Albeit there are a few lines here and there to establish that this is, of course, a Doctor who has the knowledge of his 5th, 6th, 7th, and probably 8th incarnations. This just feels like plain old 4th Doctor adventure, though. And I'm not taking anything away from Tom Baker, because he is marvellous as always. But if you take the stuff about degeneration out of the equation, this story just feels like a run-of-the-mill 4th Doctor adventure. This is nothing spectacular, which screams out that this is a must-listen to the casual Big Finish fan. This doesn't feel like it is a part of a 60th anniversary epic. Yeah, it's good we get Kate and Osgood, who are probably more famous for their appearance in The Day of the Doctor, as well as their own Big Finish spin-off series. The monk is alright, and the monsters are bog standard. I feel where this story falls is the handling of Sarah Jane. Sadie Miller does great with the material, and she really does sound like her mum. However, I feel like there wasn't enough of an emotional punch regarding Sarah reuniting with Tom's Doctor, who has lived many years since leaving her at the end of The Hand of Fear. We'll get a few lines here and there which highlight this, but I just feel it falls a little bit flat, and I didn't get all emotional like I thought I would have done. But I'm not going to criticise Robert Valentine, because so much shit is crammed into this 1-hour story. By the end of Past Lives, I was left a little disappointed, purely by some missed opportunities. However, this was something which never did bore me. What intrigues me most is the whole degeneration thing. Yes, it felt like an afterthought in parts of this in favour of telling a standard 4th Doctor adventure, As I said, it's run of the mill, but I still enjoy it for what it was, despite some obvious flaws. Past Lives is by no means a disastrous start to Big Finish's 60th anniversary epic, but for Christ's sakes, things need to pick up. Come on, James Goss, don't let me down.